and welcome to the AEW Dynamite Preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Michael Sidgwick from WhatCulture, here to look at tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Sidgwick. Do not adjust your sets, but Michael Hamflett is actually not here today.
He's got one of his actual good excuses this time. It's something to do with his school, and as a parent with kids who go to school, there's always some crap that you've got to do, you know.
But we are here to look ahead to Dynamite, Sidge, and all the fallout from Grand Slam Australia.
Did I tell you what I had to do? I didn't have to do it. It was by choice, and it was actually just a nice little tradition. Like my eldest, my son, went on a residential, a long trip away with the school for 4 nights, you know, a bit of a rite of passage moment for him. And obviously the parents, you know, some of them are going to deal with it in different ways. I mean, I love him more than anything, infinitely, you know. It's fine, I'll see him in 4 days.
Yeah.
He's going to have a blast. But, you know,
we've talked about our experiences on going on these sorts of trips as well, and how much fun they are. Whilst Hamflett talked about how much he was not wanting to do it and just stay at home and eat crisps, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just go up and go, wave them off on the coach. The windows were tinted black. So I was just going like that.
Hello?
Potentially in front of a random child, just odd. Probably would have looked very odd indeed. Anyway, moving swiftly on. What did you ask me at the start?
Yes, this is well, it is about the fallout from Grand Slam Australia, obviously. But there's kind of just one match, really. This show, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
dominating the conversation.
It's I expect this to get a good number. My hype personally is at its highest all year, and that ties in with the idea that I am a big Kenny Omega, Super Mark fan, whatever. It is so refreshing to see Kenny Omega in this setting, involved in this type of storyline, which is splintered off wonderfully from the wider world title scene, which has drawn enormous praise this year. Loads of plaudits, rightly so. Love the idea that they came together through an informal, all too infrequent use of the rankings system. And they've, you know, for one reason or another, both been unable to actually enter it yet. They've found a reason to have an actual match. That match is tonight. I really can't wait.
Yeah, I think we all sort of assumed when we were like, okay, well, they're not in the title picture right now. We assumed it was going to be one of Andrade and Hangman Page, obviously coming out of Grand Slam Australia. I think a lot of us, when they first started being drawn together, you were like, okay, well, that's the other match, big match on the pay-per-view, almost and then they were just TV in a week or whatever, and you're like, oh, jackpot.
Absolutely. Before I drill into why specifically I'm excited about this and why I think they've done it on TV, and Hamflett really covered that last week, but we will reiterate, where are we tonight? Where in the world?
We are in Ball, Sacramento, California at the, really got to do a lot with this. I was working with the team on this.
This is why you've just kind of tried to put it under the...
Buried the lead,
Yeah, you've swept it under the rug.
It's the Memorial Auditorium.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. You should have been proud of that.
Okay, thanks.
Did well, didn't he do well?
But yeah, it's one of those ones where for once you and I aren't well, we're going to do this preview and then 2 hours after it goes out, they're going to announce about 6 more matches. You're anticipating that due to the lack of announced matches or things on this card, Kenny and Swerve will get a lot of time.
I expect this to get a lot of time. I expected it to get a decent amount of time before the lack of matches revealed themselves. But you're missing one very crucial, apparently, fundamental bit of information. And that is Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta are going to have a match against 3 assorted members of the Death Riders.
Wait there. I don't necessarily mind that because
10:47 Wednesday, 18th of February.
The old DCF Death Riders feud isn't over quite yet.
And that's probably going to end in.
I was going to say it's not May yet.
Better not. Anyway,
guess what? It's gonna be May.
You're really proud of that.
Yeah,
one. So you So you decided not to do the Memorial Coliseum, thinking, I'm not sure if that's my best work.
Yeah.
And then you come up 20 seconds later, smug as all else about a Britney reference.
NSYNC, I'll have you know.
Oh, whatever. 90s pop.
Oh, best of times.
80s pop clears it.
Yeah.
It pisses on it from a great height. What was I actually going to say there? No, yeah. I don't want to talk about, me being bored of the Death Riders.
I do want to talk about the Death Riders later, though.
No. They have to do something, and we can do some ideas, some fun ideas about how they have to address the events of Grand Slam Australia. But on Omega Swerve, right? Hamlet has pointed out astutely last week that AEW has an actual tradition and a very good one with, what? You're doing this already on TV? With the idea being, they do it on TV, they find a way to build it even more and pique your interest when they do it again on pay-per-view. Like, MJF Adam Cole, MJF CM Punk.
Yeah.
There's probably another example that I'm missing. Swerve Hangman, they've done on TV. I know that was after the fact. Swerve Ospreay, they've done on TV, and that led to, the events of them eventually coming together. Put it this way, there's whether it gets rematched on pay-per-view or not in the case of Swerve Ospreay, or does in the case of MJF Punk, there is always a reason, and it's never, or very, very, very rarely, if you've never seen the match before and it's a first-time meeting, unlike, say, Ospreay Takeshita at Spring Breakthrough, that was just a look at the matches we can put on TV. What a celebration that it is that we've outlasted Nitro. When it's a first-time meeting, at least in the company, which Swerve Omega is, there's usually, and this is backed up by loads of examples, there's usually a reason why. Either, as Hamflett pointed out, all those matches that they've ended up rematching on pay-per-view, which were far bigger the second time around, or that's why they did it, because it's going to be Ospreay versus Swerve teaming up against the Young Bucks all in Texas, and they needed that to sort of like bring them together, because it was the post-match angle, if I recall, where Ospreay saved Swerve, or vice versa. So there will be a reason for this. It's Kenny Omega. He's looking, and he says he's feeling it, and he can sort of tell. He looks very, very mobile, very, very dynamic. He's saving his bumps, but some of the bad ones are bad, by which I mean do them again. I love them. He looks like himself again, by which I mean he looks like the guy who can come back from serious injury somehow, not like 2018 Kenny Omega. I mean, even if all of this stuff hadn't happened to him, like the various surgeries, the diverticulitis, like an incredibly serious case of it at that, even if all of this stuff hadn't happened to him, it would be fine if he'd slowed down a little bit. I mean, the dude's 40 years old, 41. But this is sort of like, it just makes it all the more miraculous that he's able to wrestle to this standard, albeit not that often. But I'm very, very happy with his level of performance. I'm not his coach. I know that makes it sound like I am, but I am. So I expect this to go long, whether it's the 30-minute time limit draw or otherwise, we'll see. But it should get time. I think the lack of matches, as you say, advertised, is potentially a giveaway, but I'm not going to really complain.
With that in mind, would you open the show with it, or would you have it close and just be like, run out of time?
To be honest, I think you're telegraphing it either way.
Yeah.
And they did experiment with... So I remember when they... Yeah, I know they had a dinosaur on the Dark Order, but they did do various experiments very early in the Dynamite run with, well, this is a live sporting event that happens to be broadcast. And I missed some of those elements, but they probably didn't make for great TV, or what is considered great TV, which are very, very different things.
And what people have been conditioned, really, over decades to expect.
I think they did TV time remaining, and they did Pac versus Moxley, and it was like, can't do it's done. And it was like, you're getting the realism of the show overall over, but it ain't really working as this big sort of cliffhanger. And post overrun, I don't think you can sort of do it quite so effectively, because I think at this point there's a belief among the AEW audience that he can just do whatever, whenever, because, they're really sort of in a good place with Warner right now. They can get overruns, whereas previously it was like, no, you can't. There's other stuff we need to put on this network that we might trust more or whatever. So I don't know. I think it telegraph it either way, but ultimately it doesn't matter. It's a big match. People will want to watch it regardless. I'm very increasingly of the opinion, like, a long match doesn't necessarily need to be a great one. I think that mentality has poisoned modern pro wrestling in a lot of ways. It's not just these sorts of matches. It's so many go 14 when they could go 8. Anyway, this is the sort of match.
I was going to say the personification of that, and it isn't even that short of a match. And it was, gimmicked. But, like, you think about the some of the matches in effectively the best of 7 between Briscoe and Fletcher. Great matches. Then you think about the one on the weekend, that was like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I know it's a ladder match, so it doesn't really count. But, like, that was just all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Never dragged, no lull whatsoever. I mean, there's lessons to be learned. There's loads of AEW matches. Like, I remember making when this discourse cropped up, and I'll get back to Kenny and Swerve in a second. A few misgivings I have about it as well, but we'll get to that. Is that you could make an undercard of like sub 10-minute matches or matches that just creep over 10 minutes. Like an all-time classic. Like, what, when people do a thought exercise of like, what would be your best pay-per-view ever? You could do any match from any company and just make like a best of and fit it into like a pay-per-view runtime. Like, you got Mike Awesome versus Tanaka. Like, the WWE ECW one was actually the best in my opinion. I don't know if that's sacrilegious. Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio from SummerSlam 2002. Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk, Full Gear 2021. And I think I went with Max Payne and Cactus Jack versus the Nasty Boys. Like, all 10 minutes, violent, punchy, lean. That you'd get more fired up the more these keep coming. Anyway, totally different conversation. I apologize. So it'll get a reasonable amount of time. There are there's many wrestlers who can utilize it to the maximum. Kenny Omega's the best. There's a reason why his sort of critical acclaim and his notoriety and his rise to fame was like sort of inextricably linked to those long epic matches, because very few wrestlers in history, if ever, can use a long runtime as effectively as he can. I love how he can sort of do that delayed selling where it gets to the 20-minute mark and he starts to really sell that pounding headache and the head trauma and stuff. And he can sort of like allow fans to catch their breath, which is like, that's a really good structural approach. So he's allowing that for the benefit of the audience, but it always feels like it's for his benefit. Like, I'm dying here.
Yeah.
So he's just great. He's absolutely fantastic. It's a first time meeting, as far as I can recall, in AEW. I don't know what the chemistry's like personally.
It's always unpredictable with Swerve, isn't it? We love him, but he's
Think about
unorthodox
Swerve,
style.
Yeah, no, that's a great point to make. Because Swerve's funny. The very best of Swerve, Strickland, and you just need to look at Texas Death and various other performances when he's just totally locked in. But that is the one. It really feels like he has that ability, that cool guy essence, that creativity, where he can be just a 10 out of 10 pro wrestler. Like, no one can have that presence, the charisma, the mind to pull off those genuinely, and I hate that word, it's poison, but those moments like he did, like when he's getting stapled and he's just laughing maniacally. It takes some wrestler to be able to pull that off. Equally, he can do things in the body of his matches that make me sort of groan. Like, what we're doing that for? And to be honest, I don't think it's a huge insight either. I don't think I'm the only person who's pointed that out, but particularly since he's bulked up and got that like heavyweight main event physique, certain transitions between moves that he likes to do, and that have informed like the Swerve name, like he needs to cut them out, and like he just looks a bit blocky and clunky, and he doesn't look. The whole point is when he's rolling around the ring into like his flatliners and what have you, or he's doing stuff on the ropes. The idea is that he was once so quick and, as you use the perfect word, unorthodox, that if you put your self in the minds of his opponents, you're like, how do I even counter that?
The hardest shot is the one you don't see coming. Yeah.
How do you even get into a position to counter that? And by the time you start thinking about that, he's already like kicked you in the head or whatever. That is a lot harder to do, and in turn take seriously when he's not that slow anymore, but he isn't as fast as he once was, and that's a choice.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, isn't it? Power for speed.
I still think adjustments need to be made. Put it this way, he doesn't tend to piss about with that sort of stuff too much deep into the matches. It's like so often that a lot of them are remembered as awesome, even if they've got those kind of clunky immersion breaking moments in those early mat-based exchanges. So it will end up being great. It's just, how good is the start going to be? But these two are maniacs. They're in that maniac class. They'll want to make this memorable. The idea will be, if this is one and done, I'll be astonished. And as we've said, like I'm not expecting it to be the case. But one of the challenges of this kind of match is that you need to save the best one to last. But also, if you're going to do it on TV, you need to make it so awesome that if it ends without a great, clean ending or, a time limit draw or whatever, it's weird. Why would they do that for this match and then just do it at Grand Slam Australia with Moxley and Takeshita, which leads me to believe it might not be a time limit draw, but whatever. It has to be pretty awesome if you want people to think, God, I need more of that.
Yeah.
It has to hit a specific sweet spot of, I could have lived in that for 5 more minutes, but I can't because of whatever. So it's a challenge here.
I was trying to work out what the finish is. I have no idea who wins, obviously, but
I'd love Omega to win because I do think Swerve. I think the fans are with Omega because it's so refreshing. So I've stepped on your dick there. Sorry, continue.
No, I agree as well. In terms of Omega winning, that's fun in terms of Hangman Page on the one hand looking at MJF going, I'm coming to take the title from you at Revolution, and on the other hand looking over his shoulder and going, if I win, the first person I'll probably face is Kenny Omega, which is a fun dynamic, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to work out how you do that if you're not doing a time limit draw, because it's weird. It would be strange to do that within the space of 5 days. So maybe there's some sort of interference, not perpetrated by either man, but that may benefit one of them. And then they go, you know what? I won, but I still really need to know I'm better than you to prove that I merit taking the title off that little weasel MJF or Hangman Page or whatever. Not my words, obviously. Yeah,
and if they because you love him, don't you? He's your best friend.
Yeah.
It's one of those where if in fact it gets stepped up, rematched in some way or form at Revolution, which might not be the case because wasn't there some kind of scheduling conflict potentially with Omega?
Oh, some like Comic-Con-y-esque thing, yes.
Over in Japan, so I don't know. In terms of
March 15th,
let's just treat it as, someone's going to win. It's a wrestling match. Oh, God, someone's interfered. Let's treat it as like, this is the one and done. And whoever wins it, whether it's, Dynasty or beyond, is sort of further ahead in that title sort of ranking. I want it to be Kenny. Because I think the amount of times and I didn't want to feel this way, I just thought I can't help but articulate it this way. I don't want to pretend. I'd rather apathy was the emotion if it was the honest one. The amount of times last year, and I'm like, he's teaming with the Bucks again.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, he's fighting the Bucks again. They're probably going to end up friends, so get on with it. The matches aren't even that amazing compared to their standard. It is so refreshing. It's so cool to see Kenny Omega pushed as a potential world title contender, someone that talented, someone that great, and someone seemingly, thank God, that healthy, needs to be in that position. And for me, it's a case of long may it continue. Maybe he's working you. He's got a history of working you with his health status. Maybe he was just having a good couple of weeks and thought, you know what, I can do this with the ultimate objective of helping out or elevating a Swerve Strickland or an MJF, where it's like, God, this title must be competitive if a healthier and more motivated Omega can't even get in it. Maybe it is something like that. If it isn't, and Omega feels better realistically than he has in years, you must go with him.
Yeah.
It's such a refreshing proposition to have Kenny Omega. And I know there's a wider conversation about, like, male wrestlers in their 40s getting main events constantly. But Omega doesn't, it feels different with him because he's been sidelined or doing these just low stakes side quests for so long. It's just great to have him as a big deal. Also, Swerve's been more over than he has.
That's
I
fair.
think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
I think he has been more over in the recent past than he is currently. And if he wins, particularly at the expense of Omega, who people are really prepared to get behind, you risk undermining this world title scene because it's hit the first snag. And maybe it's a vocal minority online thing, this Hangman Page stuff. But again, he's another guy who has felt more over, way more over, in fact, in the past than he is right now, currently. If they do, just for argument's sake, Hangman at Revolution, which they are doing, and then Swerve at Dynasty, you've got two wrestlers, two baby faces who aren't as hot as they once were on consecutive pay-per-view cycles, and it just feels a little bit like, uninspiring choices potentially. So I'll be rooting for Omega. I don't know if it... Do you think it's too early for Swerve to turn heel again?
I was going back and forth on that in my head. Not yet, but I think this could be another reason when it eventually happens.
Yeah. He's better as a heel as well.
Yeah, but I don't think he needs to turn just yet, but certainly I'd have him be heel by, like, All In, for example. I think you could have a really fun match with, like, take your pick at that point. Yeah, and as you mentioned with Dynasty, Vancouver, Canada. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I love Swerve, but there's only one man who you put in the title picture for that one, almost regardless of whoever wins out of Hangman Page and MJF. Speaking of which, ahead of Revolution and off the back of Grand Slam Australia, they have a face-to-face tonight. The ball will start rolling on this one. Slightly scared as to what Maxwell is going to reference with regards to Hangman Page and maybe his dwindling fan support. But, these two face-to-face is always quite electric.
It is, and as Hamflett pointed out, this kind of needs to be. If you look beyond Hangman Page and the news cycle of 2026, that doesn't help. But it is like Twitter and X and the way these things get discussed. I don't know. I don't know how much importance live fans place upon it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. It certainly feels, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
I understand why we're doing this again. Pro wrestling is a delicate political game where you ideally want to have your core main event crew, which in AEW in 2026 is MJF, Hangman, Swerve, when he returns, Ospreay. That's your four. Hopefully Kenny can crack it and wants to crack it. You kind of want to subtly hide that they have a comparable head-to-head record, you know? And you kind of want to make it equal without people noticing too much. Hangman Page is 2-0 up on pay-per-view against MJF. If you want to legitimize MJF, and it's kind of like, you're moving things around and you're trying to make it dramatic where you can, but like, how many big wins and big losses wrestlers get does matter. So you kind of have to do this.
Got to pick and choose the stats almost, don't you?
This is it, So it does feel like it's Hangman Page's turn to put MJF over, and when you put MJF over, you legitimize this top heel run that he's having, where he's permanent, full-time locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Not many Hollywood side quests that I know of or I've seen reported. This is like an MJF, yeah. So if you have use the credit in the bank that Hangman Page has got to put him over, then MJF gets more over, and then whoever beats him beats someone who's a big deal because Hangman Page MJF has got the recent string of wins. So I get this from a administrative perspective, why you would book this match. It's just, I really like. Was it Revolution? They had the first one last year.
That sounds
I think
familiar.
It was awesome. I think it opened. Incredible build. It really felt like the fans were really coming up for that, and this had closely followed this downsizing to the intimate, really aesthetically pleasing arenas, moving away from, God, there's 3,000 people in an 18,000 seater, and you can tell. So it felt like things were coming together. It felt like that had been not explored anywhere near as much as you'd thought, given how long they'd been on top in AEW and never really crossed paths. Then for me, the Forbidden Door stuff was a monumental disappointment. Like the threatening to set people on fire in the build, reneging on a step, how overbooked the match was. It really just felt overbooked, over everything. This feels like an opportunity to, because you want MJF, Hangman Page to have really good lore. You want them to have this great story, because you want to revisit it. They're both like really quite young still. This as far as the median WWE main eventer age goes anyway, relative to that. So I reckon to keep this a little bit simple. Anything social media-y will be an illusion. MJF going, oh, you're supposed to be the big, nice cowboy. Well, illusion, maybe. Maybe it's not something to reference, but it's MJF, and it's 2026, and I'm 40. You can reference it,
Yeah, you could say something along the lines of, I know you want to cast me as the villain, but...
Oh, aye. Like, obviously, we are not endorsing using that for heat specifically, but this would be an indirect reference. I don't know. It would get people talking. Maybe that's the goal these days.
But it is, yeah, you're right. It is worth, it's effectively Hangman saying, let's go back a year. Me and you, Revolution, what happened?
Yeah.
It's going to happen again.
They're going to have to hide the exposition, but tell you the story again. I think Hangman's anywhere close to being booed at all, even by like a sort of that vocal minority who, because a boo sounds louder than a cheer, it feels a lot more like a movement or a happening than it actually is. But at the same time, I don't think people are that jazzed about the Hangman. I really don't.
No, it's almost on max to get the heat of people being like, I got to see this because that guy can't leave LA with that title.
Yeah.
And he's going to, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's going to be part of the hopeful story to All In and Will Ospreay. But...
So I wonder if they'll keep it really simple. Certainly, let's not threaten to set anybody on fire.
No, God, no. But with regards to switching gears, with regards to the women's division, the women's title, that very recently, Sid, just got to be honest, it's gone quite toxic.
To the core.
What next for Tekla and Stat? Because they had that thing on Grand Slam Australia with them covered in, Stat obviously covered in blood. Is it like, are they going to run it back one more time maybe? Because it's 1-1, I suppose, in title matches.
I would say so, right? Because if I'm booking that division, first of all, I'm doing more than one match per week, so it can actually grow and be considered a significant division in the promotion and the matches. As a result, hopefully, will be treated more seriously and get some heat and whatever. If I'm, in terms of who I'm putting where, we'll get to them momentarily, but Hater, who I know Tekla's beaten, and Windsor, it's like this tag team division. We were only really supportive of it, basically on the idea of just pure parity. The men have got enough titles. The women should have, more as well. It is kind of, I don't think it's ruined anything, but it certainly, the women's division was better before these titles were launched. Truly, I think that is the case. It's got way too wholesome. The match quality has suffered. What tends to happen, and this happens in the men's scene, but it's particularly magnified in the women's when there's so few slots, is that until tonight, the TBS title was completely forgotten about.
Yeah.
Why have Mercedes reign with it for that long if the person who's going to win it from her doesn't really, defend it
it's like, I'm a tag team champion. Oh, by the way, I'm TBS champion as well.
Terrible.
It's like when Joe was world champion, he's like, oh, I'm a trios champion as well. Have I mentioned that?
Yeah.
Half the time he'd come out and be like, why has he got 2 belts?
And it's like, oh, yeah.
Forget? Yeah.
So, I don't know, because...
There's no one crying out immediately. It's like, oh my God, Tekla's got it in a month face this person. Like, exactly, run Stat back. It's been great, both matches.
And I think one of the problems is the women's division, because on the Brawling Birds, if I'm booking this company and you're like, I need babyface challengers for Tekla, who can give her like that really physical match that Tekla is starting to really excel at, and there are bona fide specialists in AEW who can sort of mirror the chemistry that Stat and Tekla have. Like Windsor, and I know Amanat is injured, sadly. At least I still think. But Tekla, Hater and Windsor bang up there. Then they've been, because there's a new division that's occupied Tony's sort of myopic attention. They're just sort of confined to the tag team division now, it would seem. So that's two baby faces off the table. Stat, they could do it again. It'd be pretty like cheap. Sounds harsh considering how good the chemistry is and how well received the second match anyway was, but like it feels like a way to just buy some time.
Yes.
You know?
There's a possibility.
Who else is a babyface in that AEW women's division who's not currently confined to the tag ranks?
Yeah. I mean, jeez.
It's one of those where, what do? Do you bring Riho back for, I loved her, but a diminishing return of a pop, to a point where she isn't treated like this sort of like the sitcom guest star who pops in, you're like, oh, God, it was about time for a Riho appearance. Popular as ever. Like the last few times, it's been pretty bleak how not over she is. You can't just keep relying on that sort of flying.
Yeah. I mean, there's a possibility. I really have warmed to Tekla very quickly. And, you know, we have campaigned on this podcast for her to win the title, not just last week, but previously as well. I think there's a chance Tekla holds this all the way through to, and I'm not going to say what show it is, but all the way through to a babyface Mercedes, perhaps. Like you could see that happening down the line. If Tekla continues the way she's been doing it, and yes, I know the Triangle of Madness and the Sisters of Sin are quite divisive, but you can't question her in-ring.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think they are going to run back Stat for the time being.
Who else is there? Mina, but then I know she's busy tonight, but I'm just thinking of in the future.
Tony, obviously.
Yeah. Because maybe people thought that she'd been overexposed at that level and needed sort of actually needed a side quest. I don't know.
It does feel like we've done.
Maybe I think
because I think some people thought Stat was just going to be the champion to hand the title to Mercedes briefly.
I think they've gone like too far in the other direction with Toni Storm. Then again, she's one of those popular people on their most recent TV special. So, and like her work in that match and in the week before was excellent. I hope it's not like a transitional championship reign though for Tekla and just giving it back to Tony and using her as the buffer. But that's at least an option.
You mentioned the Tony match from Grand Slam Australia, and I'm just genuinely fascinated. Are we going to see a bald Wheeler Yuta tonight?
Well,
they've sort of dry ran this on the House Rules show, didn't they? Where Yuta had a match with someone wearing a beanie and said, "You're never going to see my hair or my head." And then Briscoe came out and beat him up and stole his beanie and threw it in the crowd, tried to throw it in the crowd.
Yeah. So when that happened, I haven't seen any of the footage or the pictures from this.
No, I've just heard reports.
I don't know if he still had the long hair.
Oh, like what's it called? It's not a fried. Is it a fried tuck or I got it's the other way around, isn't it?
I don't know, but like, just whatever the style is, I wonder if he's lopped the whole stuff off. Look, it is a professional wrestling company based in the United States of America. Whether I want it to be or not,
is the fried.
Whether I want it to be, get in. Whether I want it to be or not, it remains indebted to late 90s WWE. On that basis, you are going to see Wheeler Yuta pretend it never happened. You didn't see nothing. Wearing some kind of hat or gimmick that allows him to not the shame of being, losing and getting your head shaved off. So the question is, what does he wear?
Do-rag?
I mean, I think that's too synonymous with somebody else.
Yeah.
Funnier the better for me.
I mean, the beanie works.
The beanie works. It's the Death Riders. You cannot get too silly, even though they'll sometimes...
You can't go quite an Ebola hat.
You know what I mean? Like, even though they themselves get too silly with how intense they play it, or the crime sprees that they go on, John Moxley's cat burglar hat
Yes.
is an option.
Yes.
So they won't want to do it too silly, sadly, with it being Death Riders. It's weird, though, watching that heel scoundrel Wheeler Yuta get what's coming to him and getting the humiliation of his shaved head shown to the world, while at the same time the Death Riders bravely battle those heels in the Don Callis family. You know, it's a bit odd, bit off.
Pick a number between... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4...
I've got the 8 instead of hats on your computer.
I have types of hats. Pick a number between 1 and 40.
39, Bruno.
That's a turban.
What else? I'll do... Should we do preview rules?
Yeah.
27, Big Nick.
A fez is quite good.
27, Big Nick.
I think that's a kettle brim hat, which looks like a bit of a... Maybe he's like a ladies' day at the races.
All right, okay.
Style.
Well,
I like a fez. I think a fez might be my pick, actually, after all this. Get a fez.
Get a fez. Now I'm going to stick on the final one.
Okay. You twist him for the final. Okay. Oh, that's a good shout, actually, as well. I'll get to one I've just seen. Good options here we hadn't considered.
Did I do 32?
32. Excellent choice, sir. Might I add.
Lauren Robert.
Out he comes. No. Didn't get my head shaved on Saturday. What are you talking about? Look at me in my sailor's hat.
Why not?
One of the other options here is beret. A bucket hat I could see him in. Like the football from the Euros. Fedora, obviously. Some great ones in here. A bonnet.
It's a bonnet?
Like a kid's bonnet hat.
Yes, of course. Oh, yeah. I should get... Actually, he's a little kid of the Death Riders. Yeah, they've got to do it.
Yeah,
it's AEW, right? It's not the kind of thing that they do, and it's not the act with which to do it. Gives a few minutes of fun. I want to get the anticipation. I know I've seen it, but I haven't seen the whole thing. And to be honest, he's got such a good head of hair and such a great bone structure that he'll probably be suited.
Yeah.
But I just want to anticipate the idea of him getting the head removed and him doing a big stupid face because he's embarrassed. That's all I want.
Speaking of a bit of fun, they're not going to work, obviously, because we've got potentially 2 women's matches on this show. Do we get to the inspiration tonight, please? Just a little promo or something. Come on. Long old match for the Mega and Swerve. Let's have some light and shade here.
But the problem, you can't wrestle. They're not very good at wrestling, no. Why they signed them, they can't wrestle. Shut up. As I said the other day, and I'll say it again, statistically, at least as of, what was it, about a year ago, a year and a half ago, Adam Blair took care of the data and determined that year on year, the average time of the women's match had increased a whopping 1 second from 8 minutes 2 seconds to 8 minutes 3 seconds or whatever it were. So say that there's one women's match, there's one feature length match in the women's division on Dynamite every week, and more often than not by a landslide. That has been the case. And because of the average length of these matches goes about 8 minutes, if the Inspiration have a match on Dynamite very soon. And it's the maximum length, or at least the average length. You will get an hour and 52 minutes of Dynamite for all your bangers.
Don't worry.
It's just like,
they don't even need to do that tonight. They can just have an interview, like a backstage thing with Renee.
yeah.
And I just wet my whistle because they're going to not torture Renee, but they're going to have a lot of fun. And Renee can give as good as she gets as well.
I'll be honest with you. For me, the Inspiration, it's a little bit of a brand of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I like black comedy.
Yeah.
I like dark comedy.
Yeah.
I like pro wrestling's ability to craft these like really cruel gags and like just unconscionable things that with the darkness that resides within me, I can laugh. Okay.
Yeah. So that you got, hey Kayla, or whatever on one side. The other side, you've got Rocky Romero knee slide into V-trigger to the back of his head by Kenny Omega.
I'm laughing at a dude potentially suffering head trauma because that's the joke,
I've never seen one move, not a match, one move change this entire podcast's opinion of a wrestler.
God, I know. Unbelievable. The
Kenny Omega disliked Rocky Romero. We'd just be like, and then we're like, oh no, he's the best.
Kenny Omega, he's got that. I know he can sometimes do BTE style comedy, which is like a bit too goofy and silly, but he can do a black comedy punchline with some of the very best wrestlers ever. Like, remember the Trios match against the House of Black? V-triggers Julia Hart in the face. He goes, I didn't mean to, but I don't not care that much, to be honest. So whatever, let's go back to winning the match. And some of the things, he doesn't do it because he's funny, but when he has the match against the 9-year-old, some of the stuff he threatens to do before it gets reversed is incredible. Like he threatens to spike Dudley at one point. It's absolutely awesome. So it's not my type of humor, the Inspiration, but ultimately, and I don't think it's going to grow their fan base and nothing. It feels to me like there's an audience for them, I guess. We've got a new women's tag team division. Yes, Adam, I know you like the Iconics. It's something we've been saying on this podcast for for the entire duration of the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't do bits here, but your read of the Iconics was one of the original bits.
Rumors today that AEW could extend Chris Jericho's contract as well with the time he's taken off. So he could be there for a long old time yet.
It's one of those, right, where I get it. If there was someone who quite clearly just fancied AEW, right, I want to change. I want to go to AEW instead. And in fact, I'm going to let this be known to create some anticipation, and I'm going to filter this information through the media. That I just fancy AEW, and that's get excited. In WWE, almost guaranteed, there's so much precedent to reference here. We'll go, sorry, our records indicate that you had 4 months off with injury.
Yeah.
That's getting tacked on, so you're not going to AEW anytime soon. This has happened time and time and time again, right? Just because, and it's relative. I mean, these are, huge corporations. Just because AEW is relatively nicer than WWE, and by a considerable margin as well, do they have to do everything nice? I don't think so. I think they can play dirty. It's not as if they're taking prime years from Chris 55-year-old Chris Jericho's career. Oh, we're taking food off Chris Jericho's table.
In talking.
If anything, he's been taking food off his own table to get into the best shape of his life to get on that bloody WWE stage.
Yeah.
So it's not as if he's been eating well. He's been eating too well, if anything. Look at the shape he's in. Where was that in 2023? What a joke. So look, if it was a really young wrestler who'd had a bad experience in AEW, I didn't want to see Ricky Sainz just do out. I wanted him to make the jump. Let's see if it's good or not. Let's see if Tony has in fact fumbled. Let's get on with it. I'm sick. What that bullshit? Sorry, I'm on one now. A bullshit with where Ricky Sainz was like, man, I'm willing to do whatever, man. It's not on TV. And then Tony Khan was like, he's a great talent.
Can't wait to get him back.
Can't wait to get him back. He's done many great things for us. He's won many great championships. It's like, God, it's like that. Just get on with it then.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
How were both of you waiting for someone to make a decision? It's between the two of you. Yeah, it's weird. But,
so this Jericho thing, it's like, I know not many people are very sympathetic towards Chris Jericho in the Big 26, but it's a very different case.
He's in Torquay tonight. I'm sure they'll have a lovely time.
Is he?
Yeah.
Never been to Torquay. And I'm from Gateshead, so who am I to judge? Where's Torquay again? Near Wales.
It's always seaside somewhere in it.
Near Wales.
I did geography. It's one of my biggest
my UK geography is only really, it's football shapes it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, it's near like Exeter, so it's down at the bottom. You're heading towards Plymouth, and St Ives is way away, but yeah, seaside right at the bottom.
All right, well, I was completely wrong then.
Yeah, near Dartmoor. So I've been Dartmoor. I don't think I've ever been to Torquay actually.
It's just London's as far down as I'll go. I think there might be some nice stuff down there, but is it so nice that I'm going to spend that long on a train? Nah, not really.
I used to go surfing in Cornwall and Devon when I was younger. Which is a wild thing to say, isn't it?
Are you good at it?
I used to love it. Like, I started off bodyboarding, as all kids do, and then my parents' friends lived down in Cornwall.
Why did you take that long to watch Point Break then, bro?
I don't know. Just it didn't cross my path. And I loved it. I got obsessed with it. And I was like, Mom, Dad, can I have a surfboard? And it's like, we live literally in the middle of the country. What are you talking about, son?
Stupid, yeah, man. Ginger idiot.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote.
Imagine that.
I had various obsessions. Not surfing. I would have been scared of that, I think. I loved rollerblades, and that turned into street hockey.
Ooh.
And then I feel like that ended the first time, because I used to just, blade around, play a bit of street hockey. And then my mates were like, let's go to a skate park. I took one look at the top of a half pipe, and I'm like, I quit. I'm not doing this.
Me too.
I went round. Mum used to run a pub. I was high up in the pub, then ran it, whatever. And she had like a day just around one of the staff's house. And it was like, right, well, I didn't know this at the time, but they were probably just getting blind drunk. Michael has to come. It's a Saturday, and his dad's at work. Put in front of the telly.
Happy days for you.
What was on the telly, because this woman was sexually fixated with him, was pretty much the entire VHS catalogue of Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then that was the origin story for like a lot of my life, basically, and what I'm interested in. And I need to do karate. Like, I need to do karate right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I need a black belt. Like, you can't have one yet. It's like, well, I will earn it. And then I did Taekwondo, Gateshead Leisure Centre. And then the sensei was terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. I call him Dan once. Sensei! And I got an orange belt because my parents were like, we've just bought you the suit. You're getting at least one belt.
Yeah.
I got the orange belt. I was like, I'm a bit soft for this, really.
Yeah, I've completed as far as I need to go.
God damn it.
I did jiu-jitsu. I was the same.
Did you?
Like, yeah. First day. Not sure this is for me, but we've bought the stuff now, haven't we?
Yeah.
And like, you had to do like fights, but not fights. Obviously not like, I had this lad and he just kept pinching me. And I was like, is this allowed? And if it is, I don't want to put any part of this sport anymore. Just roundhouse kicked him in the head. Yeah, I don't think.
Just give him a crane kick, I was a little dickhead for instruments as well.
Yeah.
Electric guitar, way too young. I just heard Whitesnake in the car, and I was like, this rocks.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll do that. And I'm fairly certain I was like 8 or whatever. Never played it. Obviously, it's a very difficult toy, this. I think I'll go on my Mega Drive instead.
Exactly. I had an acoustic guitar for the exact same reason. And my parents paid for lessons. And it was, as a kid, it's like, look as an adult now, a lot bigger things to be worried about. It was like the bane of my week. I'd be like, this time tomorrow I'll be in the guitar lesson. I'll be in that room with a bloke who's trying to teach me how to use guitar, and I haven't practiced enough. My fingers
Got the
hurt.
fingers for it.
My fingers hurt. I've got very sensitive, delicate little fingers. I don't want to be pressing down
I've got
on
these little sausages.
Right.
I've got these little Richmonds.
So tell you my,
At the end of my hand.
It's my strategy to get out of it. Drop the plectrum in the guitar. Like, he must have figured it out pretty quickly. I'm like, oh, bloody hell, I'll be here for about 5 minutes. You want to go and get a coffee or something? Like, come on, mate.
Then I got a bass when I was a teenager because, well, form a band, because there was someone who could play drums. There was two that were learning guitar. It's like, we need a bass player. And I was like, I want to be in a band and get loads of puss, so I'll get a bass.
Yeah.
And it's just like, apologies to any bass players out there, but like, at least with an acoustic, you could like do like a tune or whatever. With a bass, it's like you're doing a rhythm section.
You do Seven Nation Army, and that's about it.
It was well before that came out. Smoke on the Water and like,
Yeah.
I learned, and you know, it's a sample. You heard Cheese and Hustlers by Snoop Dogg.
No.
One of the filthiest G-funk bass lines.
Ooh.
I was happy with that. But I'm like, it's quite hard and like to do it without a drummer next to you and whatever. Well, I certainly found it hard. So I dropped that. Yeah, it's like, now I want to be like, electric guitar's cooler than bass. Get one of them for Christmas. And my parents were like, are you sure? You've had two instruments and you've not bothered ever. I was like, well, you know, I did learn the bass, but I got a bit bored of it. I was like, just do your bass. Or if you're serious about this, 'cause my dad likes to play guitar. It's like, he's got two, because I'm left-handed. Why don't you just restring it, change it into a left-hander?
Okay, yeah.
Prove that, like, you actually want to be able to do it and, like, get the mechanics of it and practice on that. And if you get good, we'll get you a new one. I must have had a fit or something, because I ended up with a guitar. The second it went out of tune, I was going, no. I was like, I don't know what this meant to sound like.
Yeah.
I don't like this. And then when you break one, it's like, how do you put this? This. I'd rather play on my PlayStation 2, if anything. So,
right.
just a little spoiled bastard.
Same.
But it's weird, if you have kids and you're worried about spoiling them. I was a spoiled child, and now I don't want nothing.
Yeah.
I don't really like things anymore. It's like, it's just a kid's impulse that you go through. I think everyone does. Whether you indulge it or not, probably going to end up fine.
Well, regular viewers, come listeners. I've got some good news, got some bad news. No visit to Jim and Joe today due to the lack of pamphlet. We'll pop.
I can't play the game, it'll be unfair.
Yeah, we'll pop and see him tomorrow. And there are technically 2 women's matches advertised for tonight.
But the rules are, one, it would have to be consistent, and both matches would have to be what I would describe feature length. But, you know, of substance.
Yes. And I sense that the Brawling Birds TV debut, that being, of course, as Sidge mentioned, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor! I sense that's going to be a squash.
I reckon it's going to be loads of fun as well.
Oh, yeah.
Loads of fun.
Considering what they did to Shreddy Breck, of all people.
It's one of those, like, Tony Khan. I got a pint, he got glassed. Get it.
Smashed in the head because he was cracking onto them at the bar as they were talking here.
Right. This isn't one of, like, Tony Khan has got, like, a genuinely awesome history of, like, you would be great alongside you. Be a team.
Mm-hmm.
Be in a faction or whatever. You can tell who's going to have chemistry. Like, they're very stylistically like-minded. They are both wrestlers whose stuff looks very, very believable. Like, it'll get your blood pumping, make the animal noises when they're both operating at peak level. So they make it good. You can tell the chemistry. Yeah, I'd put them together. But there's a reason why I'd put them together, and it's not this big, great Tony Khan insight, and that's because they're probably going to be great together. I will say I'm torn on the idea of the team in that I'd rather they were doing separate title pursuits, because I just think, you know, like AEW, you want match quality in your women's division. I know it's too much of an emphasis in the men's, really, but in the women's, I think it is necessary, just because there's a lot of green or otherwise stagnant talent there. When you've got 2 people who are class with experience, like Windsor has put in the miles to get as good as she is, I think they should be in, like, spotlighted and like kind of like more important singles matches. But whatever, what I like about the Brawling Birds is there's way too much of the complexion of this AEW women's tag team division is not good. You've got them. Harley Cameron and what they call the Babes of Wrath. Hate them. I like Harley Cameron and I really like Willow Nightingale and I hate the Babes of Wrath. That's the distinction to me. And then giving them a contrast of like, well, you've got your wholesome nice girls. What about your spooky sisters? Well, I'm not scared of Julia Hart. I'm sorry, I'm not. Are you scared of Julia Hart?
No.
I think she's got some level of talent. Again, I feel sorry for the system in which she has to hone it. But I'm not scared of her. And she kicked my ass. Don't get us wrong. She kicked the shit out of me. But I'm not like stopped in my tracks.
No.
Yeah, it's not Jigsaw or whoever. It's Julia Hart. So the Brawling Birds give an actual dynamic of like, oh, I can take them seriously. I don't want fun-loving gals, the Babes of Wrath, nor do I want sinister, spooky, because I don't take either of them seriously. One of them gets serious, it's wrestling. The other one is, I'm not scared of you. I buy the Brawling Birds as two salty English women who like to kick people's heads in.
Yes.
At least I can buy that act. And by extension, if they are prominent in this women's division, I might start to buy it. Because I just don't buy it. I think the moves look limp. Because Harley Cameron's not a great wrestler. I don't get the heat sequences when the Sisters of Sin are at it. Because I'm not scared of them.
Yeah.
So I'll believe this division if the Brawling Birds are a big part of it. So might turn out to be quietly important, this.
Do you reckon some sort of like renegade girls or something just getting fed to them here?
Just get their faces smashed in.
Yeah, our local competitors might be better, actually. I like that. Just like, yeah, we're here. We can prove that we can just go toe-to-toe with these so-called brawling... But oh, you're dead.
Yeah, he's got forearms into oblivion.
The bit from Trainspotting. Not the exact way. But
they have teamed up before, haven't they?
I think so. I think it's their TV.
Yeah, it's like their proper rebrand
launch.
debut.
What's his name? Not Eggsy. What am I talking about? The bit from Trainspotting when he chucks the pint glass over the top of the...
I haven't seen that since I watched it way too young at an age.
Me too. The baby scene messed me up bad.
Yeah. Put you off drugs for life, I imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think they neck a pint on the stage and chuck it behind them. But don't hit anyone.
Well, you use gimmick glass, obviously.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, what are we, Jack Perry? He loves that. Any reference to CM Punk undermining AEW, he's happier than a pig in
but we also have...
Oh, you know what I've just realised?
What?
The thought passed through my head there, right? Of, oh, God, that's yet another swear word. In the past 10 to 15 minutes, I've been giving this guy more work than necessary. And then I thought to myself on the back of that thought, well, it probably is no more work than he would usually do, because let's just say if I'm doing more swears, Hamflet's not here, so it's around about as many swears it balances out as you would ordinarily edit. Let me finish.
Okay.
No, you really want to interject here, so what are you going to say?
No. You finish and then I'll got a counterpoint for you.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
If it's the same thing I'm going to say, I'll tell you.
Right, okay. You know what we've not considered with the swear counter? In this narrative that I swear more than Hamflet?
Yeah.
He's never here.
So you got to do like goals per minute almost.
Sorry, did I go to America for like 3 weeks last year?
That's a very good point.
No. Am I going to do this again, even though I don't have the excuse of my 40th birthday yet? How the hell's he? I don't want to spoil his plans, but he's making a
I'm
pilgrimage.
astonished that he's done
How's
the old
he getting away with this?
Just run it back again.
He's like, give your kids a holiday instead of yourself.
I don't understand how he's got like, come on, love. If you only turn, it's 40. Fair enough. 40, big thing. But obviously, other mates of mine have done big things for their 40
I didn't
or whatever.
Bother. I was put off by my mate trying to do a big birthday celebration. Did not really get off the ground.
Oh, dear.
And it's just like, well, not being funny. It's like, in this day and age, right, people tend to marry a bit later, like well into their 30s, right? Whereas in bygone years, people just kind of did it, like really like had kids younger, people are having kids older and all the rest of it. So by the time you get married, and like, it's a pretty expensive day, for people like that want to dress nice, that costs money, like sometimes people increasingly like to do it in overnights. Like my best mate got married, I had to do the overnight stay and all the rest of it. I was paid for because I was the best man, but other people did it, rather than get like, it's either you pay 20 quid more for a room there, or you're paying a fortune from this rural nice place to go near to where you live anyway. You buy your mate's kids presents or whatever, you go to that, you dedicate time to doing all this as well. By the time you reach 40 now, so I think you're almost taking the piss. The stags cost a fortune.
Oh, my God.
A fortune. That's what I thought.
First year I've not had one for a long time.
I was doing the math, calc, and frig there, and I didn't realize, like, I'd missed out the most expensive bit. The goddamn stags, bro, they cost a fortune. You are asking people to spend a fortune for you to go, hens and all the rest of it. Now, because all of this is happening later and later as well, by the time you get to the 40th, it's like, it felt like I only asked you to spend hundreds on me like 5 years ago, so I didn't want to do it.
But yeah, fair enough. Come on, love. You haven't turned 40 once. It's America. I'm already there with work, so any chance?
Ipso facto, 2-week holiday.
Okay.
Is this why he has smiley faces for tea every night?
You need to know, because Adele and the kids sound like they have proper food.
Do they? And he doesn't.
I don't know. When he told us that story the other day about eating an entire sleeve of rich tea biscuits for his dinner, I don't think that's what the rest of the Hamflet family also ate. I don't think it was like we all get a...
Yeah, I mean, if he's feeding his kids that, he might as well call child protection. I'm not,
what I was going to say is...
I'm not joking.
Read the swears. I'd appreciate if we can keep the numbers down, because less swears equals more time to play Roberto Baggio free kicks on our lunch break.
Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm fixated.
Love it.
I'm absolutely fixated.
I used to play it when it was probably what 2002, maybe? I
didn't ever played it. Doesn't even have the nostalgia factor for me. I'm just obsessed.
Nicholas introduced us like a drug dealer. He said,
he's never playing it.
First one's on the house, and then he comes back every lunchtime to me and Sidgwick going, wallop. Come look at this, Sidge.
It is so satisfying getting a goal on that game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Fantastic bit of business. So yeah, I think I've cracked this wide open. He swears just as much as me, if not more. He's just never here.
Swears per minute, you want?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's obviously way too hard to do, but...
Quickly, and then we'll get to the data that I'd want to talk about, actually. TBS Championship 4-way, Willow Nightingale, the champion, versus Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Mina Shirakawa.
Right. The match should be good. That's the AEW suffix, isn't it? The tagline. Should be, no guarantee. The reason Wilbourn and I book these matches is not for the great stories that can be yielded. It's because when there's a triple threat or a 4-way, are you following us?
Mm-hmm.
There tend to be, you multiply the excitement, so there's more near falls. You add saves to the mix. It's easier to do an exciting match. Not necessarily a better or emotionally richer one, but an exciting match the more wrestlers are in it. That doesn't necessarily mean you justify a big, long storytelling cycle ahead of something like WrestleMania.
Okay, got it.
To arrive at these matches. I'm glad you've learned your lesson at long last. Okay,
I'll not forget this.
Yeah, okay. So the match will be good on that basis. More saves, more scope for near falls. But here's the thing. People on Twitter, and I noticed this last week, were like, hang on, is Willow the TNT TBS champion? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of, there's the odd tweet about, Willow, the Babes of Wrath or whatever, like, I still like them, but you forget that she's a TBS champion. And Tony was like, oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Wednesday. It's going to be a 4-way. And obviously there's a rich traditional history of four-way. So that's why they're doing it, not because they've completely neglected the TBS title since it was won in apparently like really momentous fashion and whatever. Willow retains. Who's in it? Willow?
Megan Bain.
Yeah.
Obviously, they could do stuff with, what's her name? Lena Cross, I think it was.
Yes.
You got the giant one. The Sky one, she's quite big, isn't she?
It's like Homer looking at the giant can of Foster's in that episode of The Simpsons. Yeah, she's pretty big. Call the match, dude.
Marina Shafir and Mina Shirakawa. So Shafir and Shirakawa obviously have got very recent history with Yuta's hair.
Yes, indeed. In that mother's milk spot.
Mm.
I don't know who gets pinned here, so that's something.
Andy was insistent it was going to be Mina. We talked about this earlier, which adds up. You ain't pinning Shafir. And Megan Bain's not getting pinned.
No. Is it for the title or is it an eliminator?
I think it's for the title.
I was going to say, because you could pin Willow.
I was going to say, if not, you'd have Bain get a title shot, because I think that's what everyone assumed they were going to do once they dealt with the women's tag titles.
I'd like to see that, to be honest. I would like to see that. So I don't pin Bain, because I think out of all of the matches all of the singles matches that could be an offshoot from this, Bain versus Willow would be the one I want to see. Mina. Yeah. Mina's like, she's going to be over no matter what.
I think they could
especially for people like you.
I genuinely think they could do the title switch tonight. Megan Bain wins it. Because if this...
You do a pasty bet, or you don't believe it that much?
No, not that much. Okay. But...
You're saying stuff, aren't you?
I'm just... That's my job, baby. That and this duty right here.
Time to sing, mate.
Love it. How about one of these for you?
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
I'm just going to read you the title of this email in that voice. AEW Women's Stats and Games.
Oh!
From the wonderful Brian Weddig, he of the fantastic SmackDown Photoshop.
He made my T-shirt yesterday on Twitter. Did you see it?
Excellent work.
If you want to know what T-shirt I'm talking about, listen to the NXT preview. Don't worry. Yes, the show's already happened. Do we talk much about the show?
Yeah.
No.
It's a bit 80-20.
Basically, if you like the lads chatting, the NXT preview is kind of the one for you.
Thinking, how can they fix WrestleMania this year? I think we've solved it. But yeah, Brian emailed me this last week, and it's excellent work, this Brian. He says, Mr. Wilbourn, I come to you with stats and figures, possibly to play a game with the Michaels. Sidge has been throwing around percentages lately regarding the number and positioning of women's Dynamite matches. I will attach the
data.
Thanks. But here are a few questions you can throw out to the boys. One to keep in mind here. I know normally the qualifiers to end Ladies' Night are consistently 2 matches, neither being a squash. However, for this, I tracked any match where at least 2 women were combatants. Singles, tags, multi-woman, blood and guts, and even mixed tags. There have been 332 Dynamites to bear in mind as we go through this, including February 11th, so including last week's. Oh, before I forget, by the way, congratulations to, I know we talked about the wonderful Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair, who takes care of the
data.
But also, Jose Palomares has been stepping up recently at the Ho 11 on X. Just saw he started a new job, so congratulations.
Congratulations. He seems really happy about it as well.
And he was at Dynamite, I think, last week as well.
He was,
Question number 1. No options here, so just throw out any numbers that you can think of. So you're out of 332, effectively. How many episodes have featured 2 matches with at least 2 female combatants legally involved in the match?
Right. I think it'll be higher than... But the immediate intuition would be 332. Or like 351 or something for the Serena Deeb challenges and whatever, and the Jade Cargill days of, you can put another women's match on because it's only going 2 minutes. However, they do like a mixed tag on occasion. Question one more time, please.
How many episodes have featured 2 matches with at least two female combatants legally involved in the match?
And there's been 332.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 289.
Oh, I think you might have misinterpreted this question, because the answer is 19. 19 shows with 2 matches.
Right, okay, instead of the... Okay.
Yeah. How many episodes
That's not good enough.
have featured...
Is it?
5%, basically. How many episodes have featured 0 matches featuring 2 female wrestlers? Balls to the wall. Wall-to-wall balls, sorry, for the entire show. So not a single woman's match.
How many eps?
Yeah.
Of Dynamite?
Yeah.
So it was a Saturday Night Dynamite. But even that had Brandy Rhodes and Anna Jay on it. I'm trying to discount like specials or freak episodes, if you like. QT Marshall's gym. You had Sheeta there, Baker there. I don't think you had many others, to be honest. So I think there might be at least one, purely on the basis of, I mean, the hands were kind of tied. I'm going to go with 2.
3, very close. Episode 25, 29, and 30. Possibly
With all in that loop.
Possibly, yeah, Pando related. Not excusing it, but, you know, maybe.
I think that I'm even the QT Marshall's gym loop, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, to circle back to it, Brian, right. So with Sidge's stat that started this whole inquiry, how many episodes have featured 1 women's match out of 332?
Does a mixed tag count as a women's match, do we think?
Yes, I think so, judging by this. So out of 332, just 1 women's match on the show.
I'm going to go with 303.
Really close. 310. 93.4% of Dynamites have 1 women's match, and that's it.
And like the other...
like you said, the others were...
The other percentage, we're talking, Serena Deeb does a rookie challenge, which is basically an angle masquerading as a match, or Jade Cargill gets a squash because it doesn't take up the precious TV time.
Next question. How many times has a women's match opened the show?
I'm going to say there might have been a grand total of 0 prior to the arrival of Mercedes Money. Because I know she's done a couple.
Okay.
Because she went first with Athena.
I was going to say, you've sort of answered part of this. One of these 2C, as Brian has written here. His question was, who holds the wins in half of these start the show matches? And the correct answer is Mercedes.
Money, so I doubt there was a single one.
The first episode to have a woman open the show was episode 185.
That might have been before Mercedes then.
I don't remember it, though.
Very few. Less than a handful, surely, before Mercedes turned up. She's had matches. Again, I know that Athena went first. I think she had a match against Sheeta that opened. Let's say there's 3 more I've forgotten. 5. I'm going to say 7.
10. 3%. How many times have they main evented Dynamite?
Who could possibly forget Deonna Purrazzo versus... who was it? She was in NXT for a while as well.
God, yeah.
Oh. And it was like, what are you doing having this headline? Baltimore as well. I remember it well for that reason.
I assume this also includes...
Mercedes Martinez. Have I made that name up?
That's a name. That's a name.
Of a wrestler?
Yeah, that's an ex-NXT name.
Yeah,
definitely.
she had a match against Purrazzo.
To main
Sure
event.
of it. Aye. On a 2022 Dynamite. Google it. I'm sure of it. So that headlined Willow Mercedes.
I think this might include...
There's been a few because like Tony Storm and Hater, I think, headlined. There was a Sheeta Hater match that ruled once. I want to go 19.
30 main events, which is more than I anticipated.
Way more than 9%. What's the percent? 9.
Yeah.
Still pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Which 3 women have the most wins on Dynamite in all match types? So you can include
8 minute and 2, 8 minute and 3.
Yeah.
All match types.
I think that includes mixed tags. And
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
which 3 women have the most wins on Dynamite?
In terms of pure longevity, injury time might account for Statlander.
No.
She's been injured a decent amount. Right. Tony Storm at this point?
Leader, 43 wins.
Yeah. She's been nearly coming up to 4 years, hasn't she? Again, Sheeta's been so sporadic, but they did use her a lot early. Sheeta?
Number 2, 33 wins. Great work.
Yeah. And then third, she was on it a lot, even though it's a Baker, Britt Baker.
Yes,
yeah.
well done. 31 wins. Last win at the end of 2024, episode 267. Sheeta's last win was end of 2023, episode 213. I've got a list here. Final couple of questions. I've got a list here from Brian. Can you name any of the 10 wrestlers who've only ever recorded 1 win on Dynamite?
See all that one, the women's wrestlers, obviously.
Yeah, can you name any of the 10 women's wrestlers who've only ever recorded 1 win on Dynamite?
Penelope Ford?
No, dear, that's wrong.
The Bunny?
You want to go for any more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think of like likes of, Tay Conti must have won more than once, even though they are used nowadays. It's just you beat them and move on. Oh, is there any like Stephanie Vaquer?
Oh, good guess.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Man. I'm sure she would have won one before.
Maybe.
She'll beat Mercedes Money if she wins this match.
yeah. That's probably a college. That's why. It's or a dark or an elevation.
Right. I'm thinking now along the lines of like fly-ins, one-offs. Mizunami?
No, dear, that's wrong.
I think that was a separate YouTube tournament that she did the most of her stuff in. Did they give anything to Zuexis before she...
Not that I can see.
God damn it. Oh, man. Layla Gray? Trying to think of like, oh my God, if this wrestler wins this match, she could beat the champion in there. Red Velvet would have had more than one, so not offering that as a guess. Viva Van?
No, dear, that's wrong.
Surely Yuka's won more than one.
Yeah, she's more than
I'm gonna have I said Robin Renegade?
No, but she's not on there.
Okay. AQA?
Nope.
Now I'm stumped for this.
I'll take you through all the names. So you got the Bunny.
Do a couple of like clues.
Okay. Can I offer you this alcoholic drink, sir? It's not whiskey. It's not vodka. It's a shot of...
Gin?
No, a shot of...
Brandy Rhodes.
This female wrestler should be called The Miz because she's...
Awesome. Kong. Never confirm those two wrestlers ever again. Come on.
Miss McBeal, what are you doing on Dynamite?
Ali.
Oh, it's written two. So maybe that's two. Two
faces of Ali.
Yeah, Evilise. She won that match, but she's without a cause.
Reba, not Rebel. Best of luck in that ongoing health situation
Yeah.
there as well. God, she was incredible.
You said Layla Gray, didn't you?
Yeah.
Me lose a match on Dynamite. That's not going to work for me, sister.
Kira Hogan.
Athena's mate.
Billy Starks.
And
Could have had a clue was Chris Jericho's worst patter ever. But then I'd be here all day trying to wade through some of that.
This person's sister, sort of, often wears Becky stompers.
If this is what I think it is, I'm going to kick your ass. Is it Tyra Valkyrie?
Saving it. Finally, the big one. Thank you again to Brian for doing all this work, breaking down all the
Data.
Thanks. How many times have the women appeared in the penultimate spot on a card that has ranged from 3 to 7 matches out of 332 Dynamite?
They realized early into Dynamite that we were onto them.
Yep.
I'm never saying it was exclusively penultimate segment or penultimate match before then, but they realized that we were onto them.
Mm-hmm.
We've blown the case wide open.
Yeah.
Conspiracy wide open when we started playing this game all those years ago, right? So then, suspiciously, one might say, subsequent to that, hang on, let's go in. Let's do the second. I've always done that. It's no big deal. Jesus.
How'd that get in there?
So they started to really like alternate almost. So I reckon there'll be quite a bit. Not enough to, I'm going to say 99.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the question? I want to get
How many
bit.
times have they appeared in the penultimate spot on a card ranging from 3 to 7 matches?
And they've done 300.
Out of 332.
200.
It's not quite that, but it is hilarious. Out of 332 episodes of AEW Dynamite stretching across 6 and a bit years, 7, yeah, 160 times, or 48% of the time. So pretty much every other week.
Yeah.
So when the women come out to play,
the main event ain't too far away. That's when they started to go, oh Christ, we need to alternate this. It's a bad look.
whoa, it's women's match in the first hour. What a surprise. Anyway, lots to look forward to on Dynamite tonight. Let us know your thoughts ahead of it in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, they can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
Sidgwick.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll all be back tomorrow to review AEW Dynamite. Me and Sid are going to review NXT a little bit later on today. But for now, this has been the Dynamite Preview. My thanks to Michael Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.